Welcome everyone to Loud and Proud Orlando. It's Monday, March the 20th, 8:44 p.m. Thank you so much for being live with us. And also if you're listening on our audio form, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We're coming from a tough loss against Charlotte. A lot of people have been very disappointed about Orlando City's performance. Also, a lot of people have been still hopeful about what's to come. A lot of we just came from playing one of the top teams in the Northern Hemisphere. And I think with a squad that just started meshing well in this preseason, and we got knocked out by an away goal, pretty much, right? So we did not advance because of an away goal. And then after that, we go face a Charlotte team that stay compact, play their game, took advantage of the opportunities Orlando City provided for them, a lot of turnovers. It was a turnover fest, in my opinion, for Orlando City on that game. And they capitalized. Enzo Copetti. We mentioned him here in this podcast. Enzo Copetti. In not other podcasts you heard about Enzo Copetti, but here, Enzo Copetti is a dangerous striker, and if you give him space, he's gonna punish you, and that's exactly what occurred. He played in one of the top teams in Argentina. They pay a lot of money for him, and he came to do a job, and he did it. Then Orlando had plenty of chances to probably go even up in the score and the scoreboard. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out that way. We push. Martin Ojeda finally scored his first goal in the MLS. El Tincho, his first goal with Orlando City, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, and Orlando unfortunately lost at home. And again, it's at home. So if we would have maybe taken this L away, probably a lot of people would have not been saying much. But the whole point that it was at home in front of 18,000 Orlando City maniacs, brother, right? It means a lot, right? So, John, how are you, my friend? Good evening. How do you see this game panning out for Orlando?
I'm good, thanks, buddy. Yeah, just
My whole fucking impression.
disappointed. I think disappointed is the word that I would go for. It's like I was expecting big things for this game, and I was thinking this is definitely 3 points for us. Like pretty assured of that. So the fact that we didn't even get a draw, the fact that we were fighting for a draw at the end of the game was where I was just kind of like, I was actually sitting with Paola. While she was sitting, I said, see, we were standing in the wall. So Paola's banned for the wall. She's never allowed to come back. But while she was there, I said to her, I was like, did you expect us to be, fighting for a 2-2 in like the 80th minute? And she shook her head and said, no, this is not how it should have been. We should have been comfortable at that point in the game, not chasing the game. So, yeah, just all in all, just a disappointing one from the boys.
Right, Paola, how are you? You were at the wall. You were like, "Dale mi amor, yo quiero
So my
todo."
my voice is kind of funky, and it's because of Tigres and because of the wall on Saturday. But I'm banned from the wall because of John. He doesn't want me there anymore. And it's not that I misbehave. It's just we lose and lost like this past Saturday. And I was telling John, I want minimum 3 goals, and he looked at me. He started laughing. I'm like, hey, I have faith on them, and then disappointment, lost, but it is what it is. It's think about it as like you're stepping into work, and it's not your day. That was the Orlando City that we saw last Saturday.
I'm going to say this. Orlando City is not Real Madrid. Orlando City is not Liverpool. Orlando City is not Alianza Lima, maybe, or I don't know, Galatasaray. I mean, Orlando City is Orlando City. And I know people are very upset about this loss. And I totally, in a way, understand why you are upset, because it's a loss at home. But Orlando's going to lose some games, man, at some point. I mean, you cannot. This is not the Miami Dolphins in 70. This is not the 72 Dolphins for people that love American football. This is not Barcelona in 2010. This is not Liverpool when Gerard was used to play in Liverpool. This is not Manchester United with Ruud van Nistelrooy. You know, this is not Chelsea with Didier Drogba. Unfortunately, it's not. You know, and we play in the MLS. This is not Europe. This is not CONMEBOL. It's CONCACAF, and these things occur. And you know what do I take out of this game? That Tincho Ojeda scored. That we're getting better in maybe having a little bit of a reaction in the second half. We kind of improved tremendously. And one thing we definitely need to improve is it doesn't matter if you touch the ball 500 times. You need to capitalize on those opportunities. If you're not capitalizing on those opportunities, then why are you touching the ball so much? Doesn't make any sense. And I think Orlando right now, some of their DPs are definitely being questioned for their performance, like Facundo Torres, and um, but there's other ones that have not gotten the play time. For example, Cartagena, he was probably being saved for a national team for the international break. He was probably but he didn't come in. I think a Cartagena would have solved our problems in the mid on that game if he would have come in earlier. Uh, I'll stay with a great performance by Dagerdan. Still very very incisive, shooting the ball, but defensively we still need to improve. Position, it's not what we were expecting out of this Charlotte team, but this Charlotte team punish you when they had the chance. And so having a probably a smaller roster than us and less depth than us, they were able to make with the chances that they got gold. And with the chances that we had, we didn't do anything with them unless only the team show goal, right? So, what were your ups and downs out of this game, John? Personally, for me, it was maybe the lack of the finishing touch. I will say, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, I know we don't want to focus completely on the stats, but if you go back and
right,
look at the, we outplayed them in a lot of ways in possession and shots on goal and XG. So I think what it comes down to is that lack of clinical finishing. I think we're creating a lot of chances, and that first 10 minutes, we looked really lively. We could created a whole bunch of chances. There's that goal that went in the third minute. They got called back for offside. If you look at that one, actually, all three of the attackers were all offside.
right.
So that was totally justified. And then we had that opening 10 minutes was really nice. And then we sort of took our foot off the gas. And then Charlotte had a few more opportunities. And then their two goals were just, real defensive errors. I think, Janssen, for me, it's always been a problem for him, his pace, and that showed in that second goal. He just gets outright beaten for pace by Capetti. He can't chase him down, and it's an easy goal. And then sadly, Mikey is a little bit to blame for that second goal because he doesn't quite know what to do. He's like, should I close the guy down? Should I not? And that hesitation gives him enough time for the shot. So just those two small errors, and really it was like not a lot of chances for Charlotte, especially the second half. They had no chances. And you let those in, and then you don't take your opportunities at the other end, and that's how you end up losing 2-1, even though you played the better game. And it just, for me, it kind of pointed out a lot of the issues that we had in other games, but haven't necessarily come to fruition, right? We did have some defensive errors in other games, and I think Pedro has been bailing us out a little bit. And he didn't bail us out of this one, but we can't expect that from him every game, right? So defensively, maybe we're going backwards. And then offensively, I still don't think it's 100% clicking. And that final ball and that final finish is just not there at the moment. And I think that's a real problem for Orlando.
Paola, how do you see this game? What were your ups and downs from this game? What are your takes out of this game against Charlotte?
I mean, John said it, and I will add that if we would have played the same way that we started that game, the first 10 minutes, we were going to win because we were trying, we were pressuring, And then I don't know what happened. I think, I just want to think that we empty the tank on Wednesday. Let's say that. And they were expecting that they were going to win. It was going to be an easy game because Charlotte was in a losing streak. So they were like, oh, okay, this is a easy peasy. Let's go. Let's do it. And like John said, Jansen needs to stop with that long passing ball shenanigans. If there's nobody who is going to connect up front, don't do it. And he's not doing it only on this game. It has been an observation since day one. Um, I mean, I'm sad. I was mad. If we would have capitalized those three goals that they were outside, we were gonna win. And people don't realize that Martin Ojeda had anxiety. He said, and
Yeah,
Luis, you uploaded that
that's right.
video,
Yeah, he had
that he
anxiety.
had anxiety
He had,
and of not scoring. And
mm,
now with this goal, I expect him to be
yeah,
more free. And let's think about last year, Facundo Torres. Sorry about that, my dogs. Give me
it's
one
okay.
second. They're
No,
like
but
little kids. They're
it's
like
okay.
little
But
kids.
yeah, it's okay. I mean, he's gonna lose his anxiety, but with all the stuff going around, I mean, he's not stupid. He knows what Google Translate is. I mean,
Exactly.
he can read what people are writing online.
That's
And I mean,
mhm.
how's that gonna mentally affect a player, right? People don't think about that kind of stuff, right? And to make matters a little worse, Orlando played without Urgent Cara after scoring a bicycle kick. And I want to clarify, according to what the club said to accredited media, he got a knock in the training, and so for precautionary reasons, he did not play the game. So he's a designated player, and Orlando played without their designated player. Now again, Facundo Torres was there, right? So we should have expected a little bit more. Especially, it would have been great to see Facundo Torres definitely ball out in this game and going to play for Uruguay in international duty. But it didn't happen. So the lack of the finishing touch is what Orlando is lacking right now. They don't have a true, um, goal scorer. I mean, Duncan McGuire was close too. I don't know if you guys saw that play. He was very close. But I mean, are we really gonna rely on a rookie? I mean, not to knock him down, but I'm just saying. I mean, I think, but again, you know, Orlando and the wear and tear. There you go, wear and tread, and the wear and tear of Orlando City after all these games. It's a matter of time that we're gonna lose some point, right? Right, John? I mean, I'm not really worrying about it. To be honest with you.
No, I think the thing is though, when you look at these fixtures that we had to start the season with, and the fixtures that we have coming up, this is the comfortable game that we lost, right? So that's the problem that I have is it's the easiest home game on our fixture for this hard start to the season. So the fact that we didn't even get a draw out of it is just not good. Like that's really disappointing. And if you look back, you're going to say at the end of the season that was 3 points missed. Like
And
I understand losing to Charlotte's not the worst away from home, but at home when they're bottom of the league, that's the worst home result we could have for the year so far, and could
Sure.
be by the end of the season. So we want to make sure that that doesn't happen more often. I think also it comes back to what we are talking about with last year and the fact that there were so many losses at home, and this really for me kind of rung home of another one of those games like last year where we
Well,
just
the loss against
disappointing,
Miami, like the loss against Miami.
right? And I think
Yeah.
that's a lot of the fans, only have so much patience for that. Like it hasn't been that exciting of a start of a season. We haven't scored that many goals, and now you start losing to a team like Charlotte. A lot of people, understandably get a little bit upset. Maybe they're getting overly upset for the beginning of the season, but I can see where they're coming from. It is a concern.
Now, let's read some comments here. Thank you so much. Leave your comments. We're going to read all of them. Thank you so much. Daniel Phillips, disappointing in the overly negative portion of the fan base. Nothing wrong with being critical of the club and decisions, but a lot of the anger is being expressed in a hateful and unproductive ways. Thank you, Daniel. I agree. Personally, I agree with you. And if you want to dispute what I say, come find me. I'm available. Call me. Call me maybe. Uh, Al Negron, anyone here? Daniel Phillips. Luckily for us, we look for a new coach. No, luckily for us, when we look for a new coach, there are a ton of pros on Twitter. Their perfect tactics and genius insight will turn us into an unstoppable team. I agree wholeheartedly. And wholeheartedly, to a point also that people discredit Twitter Blue. Now, apparently, you're not allowed to buy your Twitter check mark. I thought I lived in the United States of America. I didn't think I lived in like a different country. That I'm not allowed to buy what I want to buy. You know, and it is true. It is, and I guarantee you, give a ball to those people that talk all this stuff. They cannot even do. They cannot even play the game. And it is sad, but it's true. Daniel Phillips, I'll watch another game like this, like Charlotte. Game over that dreadful Cincy game any day of the week. We are making strides in the right direction. Yeah, I think. I mean, we just came from. I mean, I'm gonna keep it in a positive look because honestly, I mean, dude, we just tied Tigres. I mean, it's a huge deal, dude. I mean, Orlando, Orlando almost single-handedly ruined the party for one of the biggest draws in Mexico. Like, it's a huge feat, and a lot of people are overlooking that because they don't know about Liga MX. You know, they don't know about it, and because they don't know about it, they just overlook it, just like they overlook, all the things. Etromic, yeah, I didn't get to watch, but saw we got 19 shots. That's pretty sweet, and that's exactly what I want to ask Paola as well. This game, Paola, we made 19 total shots, the most shots we've made so far in all our games, but we lost. And
And
I
seven
actually,
on goal, by the
right,
way.
right. So, I mean, that tells you the beauty of football, right? I mean, I think we should continue that trend. I don't know what are your thoughts regarding that.
Absolutely. Like we people were asking about, oh, let's shoot more the ball, let's put it on target. Now we're
All
getting
right,
it.
Helen.
We didn't score. Fine, we didn't score. I was mad too. You can ask John. We were like disappointed, but it is what it is. We're getting better and better. It's the beginning of the season. It's the fourth game, and we just played Tigres. So I'm
Yeah,
I'm
man.
looking forward for Philly. So let's
Yeah,
say
I
it like
mean,
that.
guys, what's gonna happen if, let's say, John, Orlando, minute 85, 0-0. Orlando's hunker it down. Here comes the Howling of the Heartland, minute 70. Duncan McGuire off a corner kick, right? Here you go, scores a beautiful header, 1-0 Orlando win at Philly. What are people? What are people?
Uh,
What are people gonna say now? I see. That's Orlando
well,
for you. We
yeah.
had so many moments like this last year, right?
I mean, that would be typical us to go and lose to Charlotte and then go ahead and go play away in
We-
Philly and get a result, right? Me
right.
and Paula were talking about it that we do the typical thing of we play up to better competition and we play down to worse competition. And I feel like that's what happened after that first 10 minutes. We attacked Charlotte like we were the better team, and then we suddenly let them play like we gave them the respect.
We
And
gave
that's
him a
where
vitamin, a boost for
yeah, we go
morale.
here, have a try, and they took that, and then they took another one, and then we're still there, trying to score goals. So I don't think that's going to happen against Philly. I'm afraid. I think we'll talk about it later, but it's looking bleak. I think for the next few games, it's
Oh,
going to
for
be a
sure.
hard run
It's
for
gonna be
us,
it's gonna be a hard run.
and I'm doubting where the wins are going to come from in that run.
Now, one thing that's why the title of the show today is called Unity. We need to stay united, guys. We need to stay united as Orlandoans or Orlando Knights. We need to stay together, man. We need to stay together. We need to definitely support Orlando City because we're gonna play against some really tough competition coming up. It's no joke what John is saying. And what if we, out of the 6 points available, we get three? I'll take that. Or maybe if we get four, it's even better, right? I mean, and we cannot jump into the whole shebang bang of, oh, the same thing happened when, what's his name? James O'Connor was available. Nobody wanted him out. But then, that doesn't work, guys. I mean, Pareja has silverware with his name on it. So the other Jason Christ and all the other dudes don't have that. So you cannot compare it, unfortunately. Albert Norgan, offensively lost. Says that I completely agree. Hunker down. Paola, what's up? Do you know who this is? Hunker down.
That's Alex. Hi,
Oh,
Alex.
oh, look. There you go. There's a little
Shout
puppy.
out to Alex.
Skydream Production. I'll be in Philly this Saturday. What do you think the lineup will be? We'll talk about that in just a moment. Skydream. Thank you so much. Albert Norgan. This killed us last year. Home losses and losing or drawing to bottom teams. Our schedule doesn't get any easier. I completely agree. And that's, what do you think about that? I mean, I think the fans have a good valid point right there. I
Yeah,
really
I mean
do.
that's exactly what we were saying, and I think this, like we talked about, this was the 3 points that were easy, and we left them on the table. So that's worrying.
I think that was my first comment that I said to John. I'm like, why this always happens to the lower teams on the standing when we lost? Like, it's I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're going into, oh, this is easy 3 points. I don't know because I'm not in the team, but it always happens. It's a coincidence, so I don't know.
Now, here's some pictures that George from 181 took at the game. I want to, look how happy they came, saying hi to everybody. You know what I mean? Uh, Beautiful. It was a good, I mean, people came and supported it. And that's why the loss is tough because there was about almost 19,000 people in this game. So I understand that people come and they spend their hard earned money and all of that. And they expect obviously greatness in every game. But, this is a cruel and unpredictable sport, right? So, unfortunately, you can go and pay $1,000 tickets to see Manchester City against Bayern Munich, and you could get a nil-nil draw. So, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh crap," you know. It happens. But overall, I'm gonna say Cesar Araujo was on point. I'm gonna say Rodrigo Schlegel. It's been one to me one of the most consistent guys in the defense. Just when it comes to his stamina, in my opinion, has improved since he first started with Orlando City. Has been improving year after year, and he was one of the top players in that defense. At that game, in my opinion, at least. Mikey had an issue with one of the goals, like John was saying, with the 1v1 against Vargas. But that was also a genius play for Vargas because that shot is tough to shoot from that angle. So you have to have that technical ability to shoot it that way because you have a keeper like Alese. And so he definitely was also, I will say, 70% his goal and maybe 30% Mikey. But Mikey is going to be off. And that brings to my second topic. We're going to be losing Pedro Galese, Facundo Torres. We're going to be losing Wilder Cartagena. We're going to be losing also Mikey Holiday, Alex Freeman, and Thomas Williams for the under 20s. What's in store for us coming up, Philly? Now that we're going to touch the Philly subject. With
Sandwiches?
Oh.
No. Philly cheesesteaks? No.
Right, that would be nice. I
That would
think
be nice.
the nice thing is we're missing Pedro, but they're missing Andre Blake, so it evens out, right? Neither of us have our first team keepers, so there you go. But yeah, I think Mikey Halliday, weirdly enough for me, is the one that I'm going to miss the most out of that, which is saying a lot about Facundo at the moment. That I'm not too fussed that he's going to be away for a week. He hasn't
Yeah,
really done much this season, so I think the nice thing is that those guys are going, but I feel stronger this year about our squad than ever. So I feel like we have guys to come in and replace them. Like I think Dagger Dan's obviously going to start. I think probably Angulo or Gonzalez will get a start. Got Kyle Smith who'll just come in and do a job for a couple of games instead of Mikey. Like I think really the main misser there is obviously Pedro, and Mikey. Torres, yes, but like I said, he hasn't really been doing much so far. So maybe he'll come back. Maybe he'll go away and get a bit of form with the national team, and then come back and look a little bit better. So maybe that'll work out for us. I don't know, but yeah, we will be down those guys. But I think this is a hard game even with those guys. So yes, it makes it more difficult. However, I don't think it makes it impossible for us to get a result.
look, I'm gonna look at the positive outlook here. I think we could definitely play a four in the back with Abdi Salim. We can definitely pack that back line. Hopefully, AC is available for play to play. And you know, you got to have two defensive midfielders. I mean, that is to me against a team like Philly. You got to have two defensive. You got to play conservative, man. We're gonna be playing in a really tough stadium, Subaru Park, against a really great fan base. Much respect to the Philly fans. And then you have Andres Perea, which we traded, and he's having the time of his life there. He's just scored a brace last game. He's dancing, he's kissing the crest. He's going Lionel Messi looking like this. I mean, he's definitely doing great. And on our end, I'm concerned about the performance of some of our left backs and right backs. Kyle Smith, I know he's consistent and he's gonna either play center back. He's gonna be fine. But one, I was concerned and I did not like his performance, and I'm gonna say it like that up front. Rafael Santos to me was disappointing in this game. I mean, he had a really good game against Tigres coming in as a sub. The game that we lost, you know the the contention to go to the next round. But this game against Charlotte, I mean, only he completed only 60% of his passes. Man, I mean, you're talking about he didn't have he didn't complete any of his four long ball attempts. He only had according to this, one tackle, and he intercepted the ball like once throughout his whole performance. So, I mean, that those are not stats for that doesn't tell me, oh, Mikey's going international break. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry, guys. We got Rafael Santos. We're gonna be all good. Like that worries me a little bit. I don't know what you think about that, John.
Yeah, I mean, I think Petrasso should start over Santos. I think Petrasso is a more defensively minded left back. And the disappointing thing is, I thought when Santos went in against Charlotte, I was like, oh, good, we're playing,
Right.
the more attacking left back, right? Who's going to be able to. But we played so poorly in defense that, he wasn't able to really get involved, and he didn't do anything. And he looked, offensively weak and defensively weak. So he did not have a good game. I really hope Petrasso goes back in for Philly. I think they will. I think they would have seen that there was problems with them there. I think right back, like we said, Kyle Smith will be fine. We'll have to look at the lineup, but
Yeah,
it's
we'll do the lineup.
we need our defensively minded guys on the field for this one. And I agree, two defensive midfielders. We really gotta shore things up, because if we're letting Charlotte score 2 goals, everybody remembers last year Philly put 5 against us. So I don't want to see that. Like, let's go there and damage limitations in a lot of way. Can we sneak a draw? That would be great, but I don't want to be blown out like that. That'll be bad for the morale of the guys.
I totally agree with you. Paula, what are your expectations coming up this Philly game?
I don't want to jinx it because last week I said that I was expecting 3 points for the Charlotte game. I don't want to, jinx it. I just I want 3 points, but I know that the mentality of the team is going to change against Philly. Hopefully their players rested that they didn't play last Saturday, like Petraso. So he looked so tired against Tigres at the end, and I don't blame him. So probably we will see him, and I just agree with John. I don't want to be blown away with goals on Saturday. I'm just gonna stay like that.
Are we going to see Duncan McGuire?
I can see him. I can see him starting again.
Let's do the starting 11. Let's
I
see.
actually think most of our attacking play has come out of Duncan. Like if you look at that goal, like
Yep,
if he
That
doesn't
was
get back up and
Duncan.
he
Yeah,
doesn't pass it to Ojeda,
that
Ojeda
was
doesn't
Duncan.
score. So it's
Yep.
it's mainly Duncan. And he had a lot of chances in the first half where he came really close. Like I think he looks like our best striker at the moment. I mean, we haven't seen our Chinkara since the bicycle goal, so maybe that could be, he's really in form and we just haven't seen it yet. But for me, I can't even say my name right. I was going to say Holland. Then McGuire, it looks really strong up front, and I would keep him in there. I think he's connecting our attack more than anybody else
he
is,
hustles. So that's what
and he
Pareja
works up
likes.
there. Yeah,
So
exactly. That's what he's like, a pressing forward that's going to run and chase the ball down and play in the other guys, and that's what we need. And that's he was working. It was working in the first half most of the time. Like we said, we created a lot of chances. We just couldn't put them in the back of the net.
No, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think Duncan McGuire is definitely excelling as a striker. He is actually able to create plays and also, um, be more of a like a nine, like a straight nine. I think Ramiro is a great striker, no doubt. I just think that when you got long balls coming through him, some of the center backs may be too tall for him, and I'm saying that in a nice way. So the size of Ramiro doesn't help him. He could definitely be definitely a great second striker. Or if you want to have a lone striker like him, do it like we did with Tigres. It will be to be used as to pressure against Tigres and do the dual role, right? Do the back and forth, the attack and defend. But if you want a straight nine goal scorer, I will shoot for Kara or for Duncan McGuire. So with that being said, we're gonna do our lineup. I'm putting four players that are definitely gonna be in the starting lineup. I believe Mason, Araujo, Dagerdan, and Pereira. I would like to see Pereira playing at the 10 role again. Um, and I'm gonna say this really. I mean, there was a lot of turnovers coming from Orlando City. And some of it was happening because the pressure of Charlotte up in the mid started increasing as the minutes were on, and Orlando started getting tired as well. And Pereira was losing the ball constantly. Araujo was pretty much everywhere, and I feel like Pereira doesn't feel very comfortable playing the eight. That's just my opinion. He doesn't feel comfortable playing that. Um, Maybe defensive midfielder role yet. He's more of a creative guy. Um, put him as a 10. So I don't know what you guys think. First and foremost.
Well, I agree. I don't think the solution. Sorry, I agree with you that Pereira is not defensively minded, but I don't think you should put him back to the 10. I think we should have the 4-3-3 and have someone next to him like Dagger who is doing more defensive work, or play, Arujo and Cartagena.
Yeah, well,
Obviously not for this
Cartagena's
game because he's out.
right.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I think the problem is that we don't have three deeper midfielders. I would eliminate that 10 entirely. I don't think anybody is the person to be that 10 at the moment.
Right.
I don't think putting Pereira back there is going to solve our problems. I would have it like that, but yeah, with Arujo even deeper to sit, because I think that when we played that 4-3-3 and you have those two like essentially eights in front of the six, that makes you much more defensively solid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
I agree
Pereira
with you.
can move forward into the 10 position all he wants, and he
True.
doesn't have to be so worried about defending all the time because he's got Dagger
Right.
Dan or whoever, Felipe, next to him and Arujo, right? So that for me is, if you, I agree what you're saying, but I would think instead of saying go play the 10, keep playing where you are, but just move into the 10 position when we have the ball.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, I mean that's a great idea. I think I agree with that. What are your thoughts, Paola,
No,
regarding
same, and that's something that we haven't seen on the last couple of games because the long passes are coming from defenders, and I haven't seen the ball past the midfield is always going up the long passes. So I think if we do that, it's gonna I'm not a coach, but it's going to resolve a lot of our issues if we just if offensively when we have the ball, let's shoot for that 10, but not when we don't have the ball. So I agree with what John said right now.
All
I
right, let's read
think,
some. Go
sorry,
ahead, John.
quickly,
Go
you
ahead,
could
John.
also have an argument here to go to the five at the back like we played against Cincy. Like maybe
True.
maybe this because Philly are so strong. And like you said, I think Salim's looked really good. Like, so why not bring him in? Or if AC is back, play Schlegel, Janssen at AC, and then play, like Petrasso on one side and Smith on the other side, and have like five real out and out defenders on the field. That could help you a lot against a team. And then the other thing you could do with that is potentially play two up top, because I think McGuire is a two-guy
Right.
striker system, right? Like, he, for me, is always there. And that goal we saw with Ojeda's, he knows
I
how
was
to do
gonna
that
say
because
that.
he's used to college from
In
another
college, yep.
striker being there, right? So let like McGuire and Carr or McGuire and Ojeda, whoever you want,
Or
like
Ramiro
play two.
too, but both
That's
those
how you
two.
get the two strikers up front, is you play the five, and then you're able to do that because you're more defensively solid. So that might be a wild card that Papi could also pull up.
Do you really think that AC is going to start on this game? I really doubt that he's gonna start on this game. And Luis, you can take it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, his family was at the Charlotte game. I know for a fact. I saw them, and they were hoping that he was going to start, but I don't think he had any minutes or
He was on the
Oscar.
bench at least.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but um, I have a feeling that he's going to have minutes against Philly because of the depth. I feel he's going to have some minutes. That's just my opinion. I believe that he's going to have some minutes. But I also believe that Orlando's going to play conservatively in this game. I don't think they're going to do the line of three because I mean, you're looking about Philly, you're looking at their squad, and they have Bedoya and Flack and Gastag right there, and those guys are pretty good with the ball. They also have Martinez. I really doubt that Pareja may want to play with three in the back. And Petrasso doing all that back and forth. I think he's gonna play conservative with four at the back. I don't know. That's just the way I see the game. I think what you said actually, John, it's probably gonna work best for Orlando. Play that 4-3-3, or if not, even I would love to see Orlando on a 4-4-2. For some games, some point, I think it would be fantastic to play a classic 4-4-2 formation for the first time ever, with like maybe Ramiro and Duncan as your strikers. It would be great to see what the chemistry is between those two players. And the game against Charlotte was perfect to do that. You know what I mean? But now we're playing Philly, and if we're going with nothing to lose, and if we're going to, because in a way, Philly's playing with more pressure. They just lost against Montreal in a game that they should have won, right? And now they're gonna be playing Orlando City at home, and they better win because if they don't win, you know what I mean. People are gonna start also, cussing out. The family's gonna start cussing people out, and you know what I mean. So um, I feel like they're gonna have a little bit of a bigger backpack than Orlando City, so Orlando City needs to definitely own that. But okay, so let's do the lineup, guys. You want to do the line of three, or you want to do the 3-5-2, or you want to do
No, I think it'll
Let's do it
be
the
for
four
four?
at the
Okay,
back. Yeah,
so okay,
probably.
let's start with John. John, what are your back four?
Well, I want AC in there. I don't understand where this man is. Like, look, he's recovered from injury. Like, he's healthy enough. Put him in the lineup.
Yeah, me
I think
too.
they're very tentative with him. I think they're like super afraid of making it worse with being so early in the season. So they're really taking their time. But if he was on the bench last game, it's a whole week later. He needs to start. Like, what else are we waiting for?
Definitely, I
So
agree.
I want to see him in there. I want to see Jansen, Petrasso, and Kyle Smith.
I think that
But really, it's your own. Kyle
I
Smith is
think
your only
I think
option
yeah,
right
I think
back,
that's what we got.
unless you want to play Angulo back there, but not against Philly.
No,
No. So yeah, that's definitely your back four. I would be surprised if Santos got another start. I don't think
no, no. I highly doubt.
the
I
only
highly
one
doubt.
also maybe Schlegel for Jansen is sorry for AC if for some reason Carlos still isn't ready. But I really hope he is because I don't know what's taking so long.
Now, here is the doozy, right? You either want to put Angulo on your, you could put Angulo on your as your left wing, or you can put Gonzalez, right? You can put Gonzalez here. Is Gonzalez ready to start against Philly? What do you guys think about Gonzalez's performance so far?
I mean, I like him as a sub for now. Probably when he gets the rhythm of the league, but right now we need Ivan Angulo to start.
Yeah, I think Angulo is, more defensively minded. Like he's gonna work harder and run a bit more than Gonzalez is, I think, at the moment. Also, like you said, Gaston's not really got going. He's very like linear. He's just straight up the left wing, which is fine. Like that's a perfectly good way to be a left winger. But I think for a game like this, you need someone who could be a little bit more dynamic in that front three to try and create some different issues
If
for
we can
Philly's back
score
line.
first, that will be awesome, and I can see it more chances with Angulo starting, and then Gonzalez making it as a sub. Oh, you're muted, Luis.
So sources say they've told me a
I
little
love
birdie,
these.
a little birdie, right? A
Yeah.
little birdie that for the Argentinians is costing them to adapt to the MLS because, and Rafael Santos said it, if you watch the footage that we have, the raw footage of the interview, they ask him. Now, you have to understand the top two leagues in South America, whether you like it or not, is Brazil and Argentina. Two club leagues. And the Brazilian league is top, is A level, in my opinion. And so Rafael Santos is telling you, he's playing in Cruzeiro. He's telling you, they play too fast here. It's too physical. It's more physical than in Brazil. Gaston Gonzalez said apparently the same thing. And then Tincho said the same exact thing on press conference. Those are three players of Orlando City has brought in from Brazil and Argentina. So what does that tell you? It takes a little time, right? But does Orlando have really the time? You know what I mean? That too, right? So you have to put in your lineup whoever's going to work for you out the most. So that's why I think Pareja is putting Gaston Gonzalez. And a lot of people in South America are like, hey, why is Gaston Gonzalez coming as a sub? Gaston Gonzalez should be a starter. And I said, guys, I know that he played monsters in Union, but the MLS, the rhythm is different. Oh, I don't believe he's the MLS, man. There's no way. That's no, dude. It's true. The rhythm is different, and so it's taking him a little bit. I do agree that he's been better off coming as a sub, and I do believe that Angulo should be there. I agree because he's adapted better because he's always had that speed, right? So let's put Angulo right here, right? Who do you put as your left, as your right back?
I mean, it's got to be Tincho on that right wing,
Tincho.
Yep,
I
and I
was
Ojeda,
gonna
think
right?
say Ojeda.
I think he looked better on the right wing than he ever did in attacking midfield position. Did you guys notice that? Like
I
both him and Torres want to be a right winger who cuts
yeah
in on
you
their left foot, and
yeah
we
you
can't
called it.
play two right wingers who cut in on our
You
left foot.
called you called
So
it.
that's the issue we have. But I think Torres last game adapted better to be on that left wing, and he could do more from the left side. Whereas Ojeda, I really think just needs to be on the right wing so he can cut on his left foot like he wants to.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think Ojeda. Hopefully, we see a resurgence of Ojeda. Like Paola said, hopefully, this goal makes him score more. I mean, he scored a. He's one of the top prospects in the Argentinian league, and I mean, a lot of people, like I said, the two players that the three players that we've got in our mid, Gonzalez, Ojeda, and Facundo Torres, all three were judged by the South American soccer lords on why the hell you're coming to the MLS. Literally. Why, man? Why? That's exactly what happened. And they said, no, 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 we believe in the league. We want to grow. We want to get ready for Europe. And I think they have everything to succeed in this league. They just gotta adapt a little. I think Ojeda and for Gaston is taking them a little longer. I mean, Gaston's coming from a tough injury last year. Facundo should be performing at the level that we saw last year, and Ojeda, again, he just scored, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. So Ojeda for sure. And now that's the big question, guys. Bum bum bum. Who's your nine, John? And then we go to Paula.
Oh, in this format, like playing this way, I think it needs to be Duncan McGuire again
Me too.
because he's putting in that work. Um, I think that if we were to play with two strikers, I would 100% love to see Urchin Carr in there. I just don't want to see Urchin Carr as a lone striker at the moment. And that might be unjustified, but I think there's a real issue with the way that he plays and the way that we're trying to play as a system. And just because you score a bicycle kick, that doesn't solve that problem. And that might sound harsh, but it's the truth. And I think that's the way that Oscar looks at it. And I was disappointed not to see him. If he had a knock, then that's great. But I'm in the back of my mind wonder maybe there was another reason he might have been left out against Charlotte, and maybe he's having problems fitting in the squad, or maybe he's upset that he's not in the first team. There's often things behind the scenes that we don't know, and he looked much better like when he came home with Tigres, obviously. But does that mean he's instantly going to be, a number one striker and a guy who can score you 20 goals a year again? I don't know. So right now, I know that what we get with Duncan is hard work, and he's getting closer and closer to scoring every game. So he's my reliable guy right now, and he's the one I pick. And then you keep bringing Carr off the bench to keep showing what he's about and earn his way back into that starting 11.
Oh, you're muted again, Luis.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Let's see.
Sorry, Paula. What are your thoughts regarding the number nine? Uh,
Maguire, like why
Maguire?
you're gonna change
I
somebody who's
agree.
working in the front, and I will put him 100%.
Yeah, Duncan McGuire to me. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I think he's gonna once he scores against Philly, this is gonna be huge for him. He's gonna score. If he scores, he's gonna not stop scoring. And I mean, he did a really nice almost assist, for the first goal for Orlando against Charlotte. So you know,
Well, he already
um,
has an assist,
yeah, he
so
does. Great player. I think he's definitely not Daryl Dike level, because of his physicality. And we're gonna see Daryl Dike again back into Explorer Stadium against El Salvador. You're right, but definitely we surely missed Daryl Dike. I think who would have not loved a Daryl Dike right now in the lineup? But I think Duncan McGuire is making good strides to be a starter number 9 for Orlando City. And let's read some comments. Let's see what people say. The hunker down. I love Angulo. Just wish he would stop trying to dribble through multiple defenders at once. Look for a pass more around the box. Completely agree with you.
That's true.
We were at the press box with Edwin from Sportbar TV, Alonso from Area Sports. We were with also the people from 24/7 Flicks with Chris. And when Angulo was grabbing the ball, we were like, "Here go Vini Junior, Vini," right? And just kept dribbling, right? And so I totally agree that he has a way of just not looking at his surroundings sometimes because he's so carried away to doing that back and forth play. Um, I totally agree with Hunker Down. Joshua Tall, I agree with you, John, about AC. This is the Hunker Down. I am here live, Paola. Tell him not to diss Kara too much. You muted. You muted.
Sorry, too late. I already ragged on Kara.
Yeah.
No, but he could be great. I just
No,
you know,
yeah.
I think we gotta see it, I gotta see him running. I wanna see him run hard for 90 minutes. Then you could be in the starting 11 again.
I call him the Green Giant for some reason. You remember Green Giant from the vegetables? That's him. I don't
But
know
dude,
why.
he scored a bicycle kick, man.
It's in the box. That's what I'm saying. It's like he's already in the box. Like it's all about how he gets to the box and the build-up play. That's what you're getting from Duncan, right? If you put
Right.
Carr on, we lose that build. It's so integral. Everything plays off that striker with all of our wingers and our, center attacking midfielders. So you gotta have someone who's linking that play, and I don't see Carr doing it. And that's my issue. Not that he's a great finisher. Like he's an incredible finisher, obviously, but from inside the box or near the box or put it on my foot and I'll put it in for you. He's not the guy who creates the goal. We need someone who will create a goal.
Let's wish that we see Maguire and Kara for one formation and see what happens.
I think that could be a killer, Enrique and Cara
Or Cara,
Maguire
that
and
too.
Enrique. Like I think there could be a combination of two, but I don't know if we're going to see a formation which allows two strikers. That's the thing. I think have we ever been a two-striker team? That would be crazy. I think that would be a new day for Orlando City if we start playing two strikers.
Let us dream, John, okay? I'm just kidding.
Well,
Right.
It's just not Oscar's way.
Right. I mean, I just feel like talking about that subject is unjust. What's been said on Twitter about Oscar Pareja. And if the prof is listening, he knows not to listen to to the static noise. You know what I mean? It's just I mean the we lost one game, man. I mean, and this happened, and it was not available through communications. I'm gonna say because communications cut it. It's just, and they're entitled to doing that. I'm not, but this is loud and proud's footage, and this is what occurred.
A game plan, and in that part, I have to analyze what it comes in the first half. The lineup is to create a game plan, and in that part.
Now, this is a gentleman that has first acknowledged that it's his responsibility. He's very proud of his players. That he lost a game that he should have won, and that you seeing the reaction his players had in the second half, he's very proud of them. In the middle of what he's talking about, how he feels responsibility, you hear that at the press conference. It took us all. It really stopped the conference. It was just like, what the, like what, right? And so everybody knows, I don't know, the press box is right by the entrance, so like, they might have seen him through the reflection, or they might have, I'm assuming here. The whole thing is that my job as a journalist is to inform, and this type of behavior is really uncalled for. because this is a you have to understand. I was from the very beginning an Orlando City supporter. I remember when the first game into being an amateur team, USL, all the championships. I was there. I have all my ESPN World Wide World Sport Cups. That's completely true. I have it in my fridge, by my fridge. But this is a coach that has given you a U.S. Open Cup, an MLS's back final. You were, a three MLS playoffs. The only coach that has given you MLS playoff contention. And guys, the league just started, dude. Like we just came from almost eliminating Tigres. So to me, it feels like um, we are not becoming the Orlando Magic of soccer because I've heard that you guys are becoming the Orlando Magic of soccer. That's why I wore my Orlando Magic hat today, right? We're not. This is not like the era of James O'Connor because I've heard that too. Uh, I mean, look, guys, we have a brand new ownership that's investing a lot of money in players. I don't know. I have nothing to say, but like just to be completely appalled by the behavior. I don't know what are your thoughts regarding that, John. Obviously, understood the frustration of losing the game, right? The fan, the fan's a fan, right?
Yeah.
But that is really uncalled for. I don't know what are your thoughts regarding that.
Well, I think it's like it's a bad result, but I don't want to call someone names over it, right? Like he's still our coach. He knows it was a bad result. He knows he messed up, like you say. So it doesn't help to throw words at him when he's trying to concentrate and talk about you know his point of view of what went well and what didn't go well in the game. I think some people were confused as to how the fan was able to do that. I don't think everyone realizes the press box like faces externally on the building of the stadium, and this is just a fan walking on the outside of the stadium who's knocking on the window. Ironically, out of the nicest exit, like the nicest gate in the stadium. So this is not someone. This wasn't like by the wall, This is somebody who's paid like premium ticket money and decided it was a good idea to call Oscar A word. So it's not needed. We don't need that. There's nothing good comes from that. I think he knows it wasn't a good result, like he said, and he's going to be focused on making things better. And we need, like the title of the show today, unity. We don't need to be
Exactly.
throwing words like that at our own coach. Like that's unnecessary.
Right. What are your thoughts regarding that, Paola?
I have so many things running in my head right now, but technically that fan doesn't represent me and or John or you. Like I'm talking on your behalf, but like it's I get pissed and it's because of this fan and you can see it in Oscar's face.
Yeah, it was an uncomfortable
He's
moment.
taking ownership that he made a mistake of this game. That's true leadership. And then this person, I don't know, I'm not gonna even call it a fan, makes this unrespectful approach. And it it's like, do we really want these people inside of our stadium at some point? Like, I don't know, but
No,
that fan
if
doesn't
they're,
represent me.
I mean, I don't know if the club is going to investigate this incident. I don't know if the club is going to check cameras and punish the fan or whatnot.
I would.
But if the member is an ILF or Ruckus member, then there needs to be a statement made, in my opinion, by both entities. That's just the way I believe it should be. Because I mean, no one wants to be called that, right? So, um, and if that person paid their subscription to the ILF, I think the ILF should make a statement about it. Just say, hey, we condone this type of behavior. We don't stand for violence. We don't stand for discrimination. Um, for this type of behavior, right? Whether the person might have been, because I read some comments on Twitter, it was crazy. Oh, the drunk man. It was some PBRs, man. It was just drinking beer, man. It doesn't take it out of the point of it was a bad call, guys. I mean, it makes our fan base look like you
That's
know.
what I said. It
I
doesn't
mean,
represent
but
me and a
like
lot of people that I know.
right, and I know the fandom here, and the fandom here is fantastic. So it doesn't represent that, right? So I think the fandom kings, the lords, the lord of the fans should step up and say, "Hey, we condone this type of behavior. We need to support Orlando City, through and true, true and through. Till death do us part, because we are Orlando City, La Grande Victoria, right? Right. So I believe that they should do that. But then again, I'm just one Joe Blow. I'm just an average Joe Blow, right? Um, so but that's the way it should be, my opinion. But definitely it was an uncomfortable moment, and but I have full faith that the club's going to rebound. I have the full faith that Orlando City is going to thrive, and we're going to make the playoffs, guys. We're going to we're going to make the playoffs.
Well, when
And
9 teams make the playoffs, that's
yeah,
not much of an achievement,
I
baby.
mean,
Come on.
we're
It's
definitely going
easier
to make
than
the
ever to
playoffs.
make the play. I like
I'm
top five,
top 5.
you
There you go.
know.
Top 4. There you go. Top 4. Top 4. Now,
I I
what
think for me,
what if what right what if we make it happen though? So I mean, because it feels sometimes, and I don't know what you guys feel, it feels sometimes the whether we be in the coolest positive streak ever, there's always something that people don't like, and that's just the way life is. That's just the way life is, right? So I if I'm Oscar and he's watching this, Profe, you should not be worried about this. You guys are. I think the fans are still gonna support. I think people are still gonna go to the to the stadium. And it was just one incident, and
I'm
I
still
think
gonna go. I've been here since Jason Christ, so what could go worse? So
yeah, I was through the worst. Like they were like, yeah, man, Inchi's gonna save us, man. They're gonna take us to glory. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. And then what happened? We overreacted, because I think we did overreact with Inchi. We didn't give him the time, maybe to, I don't know. John could maybe speak more to that than me.
wow. If you look back at that first squad that Adrian Heath had in
Yeah,
2015, and you look like that is not a good squad.
not a good squad.
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons we didn't do that well that first year, and there is an argument to be said that getting rid of Adrian was maybe a little bit too premature.
Quick.
But I think it also just depends what happens in the nature of your club, right? And I think people want results, and sometimes at least we're not Chelsea, right? Like it could be a lot worse. We have changed.
You gotta get
We
Mudrik.
have
You gotta get Mudrik,
yeah,
and
we have changed managers a lot, right? But we don't do it every 6 months. So I think that's why we need to give Oscar like the benefit of the doubt that he's
exactly.
gonna have at the end of the day. We won the Open Cup last year with this guy, so he's not a bad manager. It's just we had a bad game, and I think sometimes people like to overreact. A lot of it being because at the beginning of the season, everyone was getting so hype about this team because of the off season. We look so good on paper, but that doesn't always mean that you're going to be good when the actual game starts. So I think that's where the frustration is coming from as well, is that people are a little disappointed with how we started, if that makes sense.
I am turning red, and it's because I saw on Twitter someone tweeted that the U.S. Open Cup doesn't mean anything.
Well, I mean, I guarantee you, give that man or whoever said that a soccer ball, he's gonna just go like this. Aten hut, aten hut. Oh, let me check out my highlights of my college football, guys.
You
That's
should
what's gonna happen.
you should follow the Open Cup on Twitter. They're hilarious and they love us. They tweet all about us all the time. They're really think it's great. They're really great follows. So
I am
would
looking
recommend.
forward. I am looking forward for a media against fans soccer game.
When is that?
That'll be fantastic. I'll I will be there. I want to see them do at least, a backflip. I want something. Show me something. Show me some tactics, man. Some numbers, some stats. Show me how many shots on goal you have, my friend. And I want the players to sit there and give you ratings. Like right? Like have
That will
like
be awesome.
first will be Tesho, right? Tesho will be the honor, right? Then I want them ratings. Like guys, really? The season just started. Like the season just started, guys. I think definitely losing against Charlotte is a. I totally agree the frustration. All jokes aside, totally agree with the frustration. But obviously, there's gonna be a bounce back, and this team has depth. I think the coach that we have for the MLS for the league that we play is a top coach, and has won a championship, U.S. Open Cup. Um, and again, let's really not overreact. I mean, John knows Inchi left, and what they got us, John Batista. Pwah, 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 pwah. The
Oh
beast.
yeah.
Put the TikTok music.
Come on, man. Come on, man. So that's your fix. Like, man. Yeah, there you go. So, wow, unbelievable. So, I mean, the U.S. Open Cup, like, look at this picture. It's an old, it's a first trophy in the United States. Look, that's when there you go. We
Yeah.
got
See?
history. Yeah, it goes damn deep. We won a very historic trophy, right? So it's stuff to feel proud about, and I think that Orlando has a huge chance, almost beating a team that had already 2 weeks on with their home league, like the Mexican league was on for 2 weeks. We played Tigres by only having 4 matches in, or 3 matches in as a squad, and we almost knock them out of the series. That is a huge feat, and it also brings a lot of tired legs, man. You know what I mean? It's a game in which you cannot get so tired, right? But these players are not robots. They are human beings, so they're gonna get tired. They're gonna get knocks, and it's the coach's job to fix that situation. And I think Oscar's it's a fantastic manager, a great coach, and I give him all my support. Closer remarks, guys. Any expectations you have for Philly coming up? Anything else you want to add, John?
Yeah, I mean, let's just hope at Philly. I think I want to be positive, but I think it's such a tough place to go get a result, and with the players we're missing, I don't know if we're going to be able to turn it around. The positive we have is that we have a full week's rest, and we're going to play whoever we want. So there's none of this, rotation problems or any of that. Let's just focus on MLS and let's try and get some results. I love a draw. I'm going to say an optimistic 2-1 win to Philly, though.
What about you, Paola?
Not gonna lie, I'm gonna be like this watching the game on Saturday. But I don't want to jinx it, and that's the reality. I have a couple of friends who's going to the Philly away game. Um, so probably they're the lucky charm, and we're gonna win on Saturday. So I always root for 3 points, no matter what. And I always root for success in our forwards and on the entire team and all that stuff. So, but I will be like this, and without any expectations, just I want at least a point, so we can see a hat trick from Ojeda. Who knows?
Oh
Who
man.
knows?
Ooh, ooh.
Being optimistic here.
And then I'm not, but he scored it all.
Hold on, I'll give you $100 if we
It took-
get
it took
a hat trick from Ojeda.
This is
All right.
recorded.
All
Yes.
right, okay. Well, guys, it took too long for Ojeda to score those 3 goals, so I'm not happy.
It would have been money well spent. All right, I would be like, here's your 100. Give 99 of that to Ojeda because he earned it.
He has more than that. Come on, John.
Wow, wow. Well, I'm gonna be positive too. I think minute 85 corner kick, right? Duncan McGuire of a header, or Duncan McGuire period. I think he scores 1-0, 1-0 Orlando City win. Puppy special, park the bus, right? Everybody holding hands,
Let's
defending.
go home then.
Let's go home. Yeah, knock it out of the park. I think Orlando. And then it's gonna be the shot heard around the world. Orlando just beat Philly at Philly, right? And I'm gonna hope for an Orlando win. I'm always gonna go to win. Now, a lot of people are saying, I mean, it's a tough road ahead. I mean, you're talking about you have Nashville coming up after that. You have I think it's DC. I want to say I think it's Nashville. Hold on, let me get it. Yeah, Orlando, Philly, Orlando, Nashville at home, April 1st, and then you got Minnesota, and then after that is DC United at home. So we're playing two tough teams, right? With Minnesota, Nashville coming up as well. So um, we can definitely see if we can get. I mean, every game we play at home, we got to win it. We got to play to win. And
No doubt.
games away, we gotta hunker down. We gotta go for the counterplay. We gotta be solid out back. So it's important the depth we have in defense. So people are saying, but Lewis, when is Galese and all those guys coming back? Well, Galese will miss the Philly game, and he should be back by the Nashville game. So he should be good to start April 1st against Nashville. And same with Cartagena. And they're only going to miss the Philly game because that same night they play against Germany. Peru plays against Germany in Mainz in Germany. And the 28th, which is Tuesday, they play against Morocco, the Moroccan team, right? So then he's taking a flight over straight from Madrid all the way to MCO, and he should be good to start. If he doesn't have a knock, he should start for Orlando against Nashville. So only one game, guys.
And I
For my
think
understanding,
Facu too.
Facu as well. He should be back by the 1st as well. So I think it's just going to be one game. Yeah. So obviously, if the player gets injured or they see that they have muscle fatigue, guys have to understand they're probably gonna rest them, right? So I don't want people. Oh, but you guys are lying, right? No, well, I'm saying muscle
Who told
fatigue.
you that, Luis? Who told you that?
Who told you that? Cite your source, man. Cite it. No, right? I'm just kidding. It reminds me of my college professor. You have to always have to cite your source. No, yeah, your index card. Remember when you see cite your source on your index card? Man, those are good times. Let's do some comments before we go. Hunker down. 10 games minimum to let the players grow with each other on the pitch. That's right. Puppy Hunker Down has won three cups as an MLS three cups as an MLS Cup, two U.S. Open, and a Supporter Shield. There you go. Joshua Tall, a win would be great, and I love the mindset about always hoping for a win, says Joshua Tall. Thank you so much. Appreciate that guy, my friend. Before we go, I want to say Orlando Pride will be hosting the Queen of the Road jersey unveil, presented by Orlando Health on Wednesday, March the 22nd at 6 p.m. I'll be there. I'm going to be there on Wednesday. It'll be definitely a huge evening of soccer art, and they're going to unveil the new kit. There's also going to be interactive photo opportunities. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward for my picture with Messiah Bright, with Julie Doyle, and with Carrie Abello. And also it says a celebration of an iconic Florida artist. There you go. So all of this will culminate to the 2023 Orlando Pride jersey reveal later on in the evening. The event is part of the Pride Kickoff to Soccer schedule, leading to the 2023 season and home openers. So The Pride is going to be playing against the Portland Thorns in Portland. That's their first game in the NWSL season. Tough game, but they've had a really good preseason. So young squad, but Seb Hines knows what he's doing. And I know, John, you probably know Seb more than I do.
Yeah,
Seb. I remember Seb being a center back. Remember,
right.
man, those are
He's a
good
legend.
times.
I mean, I'm
Legend,
really
man.
happy for him. I think he's
Yes,
looking. He seems like the solidity that the Pride needs. So I
exactly.
really hope they have a good start to the season, and it's justified. They did well with him at the end of last season, so I'm hoping for him because he's a super nice guy, and I think that he deserves this shot.
And weekly, starting the week before the first game of the Pride, there's going to be a new podcast coming into Loud and Proud called Heart Full of Pride, and is going to be talking about the Orlando Pride. And it's going to be live just like this one. And just stick around. Hopefully, more fans of the NWSL will be joining us, hopefully, on the panel. But in the meantime, it will be me doing it, talking about Orlando Pride, because I think they deserve the spokeshare. They're a huge part of our club, of the NWSL, and I've had the pleasure to meet a lot of the players, and they're phenomenal human beings. So, Heart Full of Pride coming soon. So stick around. Anything else you guys want to add before we go?
No, vamos Orlando. I don't know about you,
Okay.
John.
I got one more thing.
There you go. There you go.
You mentioned it, but I really want to hammer it home. Next Monday, I won't be here on the pod because, as I think a lot of you will be at Exploria for the huge game that the U.S. is coming into town for, with the return of Daryl DK. So I want to hear a big shout for everybody if he gets on the field, and we can
Oh
celebrate the return of our boy coming home. We miss you, Daryl, and
man,
hopefully
I think I'm gonna get
Exploria is
tickets
a
for
place
that.
you can score some goals. So yeah, if you haven't got your tickets, get your tickets. Come see Daryl. Come see the U.S. and support the boys.
All right. All right, guys. Well, vamos Orlando. Thank you so much,
Vamos
guys.
Orlando. Let's
Have a
go.
wonderful week.